All right. Welcome to the Pear Genius Podcast. We have the number one fan.
Well, it's between him and Corinne. They can duke it out.
So we're going to get them in a pay-per-view fight. But we have Milton Ocampo from LA, the host of Life is Dream, Death is an Awakening podcast. We don't do intros when it comes to Milton. We just get into it, right?
Let's do it.
And Biggie. And Biggie's with us too, which I'm happy about.
Okay, for the people who are listening and not watching, Biggie is the dog behind him and not a genital part.
No,
we'll be doing stuff with his genitals during the podcast. So,
Oh God.
Oh man. So, which part of the house are you in right now?
I'm in the room.
I don't recognize the wheel on the wall.
No, man, he just put those up for I think for New Year's.
Oh, cool.
Because we had 20 people in our tiny house. People they invite themselves.
That's good. That's fun.
Because Manny cooks and they love his pozole. Pozole, it's a traditional Mexican soup.
Oh, nice. And I'm all about the empanadas. That's the ticket. Oh, and Kati's sister tried to smoke all the weed, by the way. Tried to.
That Manny rolled?
Yeah, that Manny rolled. I was not impressed. She smokes more weed than Snoop Dogg.
So she didn't like it?
Oh, no, she liked it.
I'm sure she did.
But I don't think it even affects her anymore.
That's what Manny was.
There you go. But we saw Skylink on the day that we did it, so it was a great day.
How's the weather now over there?
Really nice.
It's super mild. I mean, I thought it was a Chinook, but apparently it's just Pacific air coming our way, so.
Yeah, same here. Beautiful. It's chilly. I'm cold. I have the heater on.
Oh, really? And here we're complaining. Well, the girls are always complaining that they're cold, and
I'm cold all the time. It's this weird in between. It's not LA nice right now, but for Canada, this is very nice. But my lips turned blue right away. So before the podcast started, I was sucking on my lips. I'm like, I cannot appear to be a corpse.
You were nervous. I was nervous. Maybe it's cold nervous. I don't know.
No, not nervous. Just I don't know what's wrong with my lips.
So.
We're going to talk about the fires after, but first we're going to get into some other stuff. We got some cool moon stuff that we want to talk to you about.
Okay.
It's very important.
Okay.
I just want to know how you've been feeling lately, because I mean, there is a lot of portal energy because it's January 11th the other day. Today is the full moon in Cancer. So what are you doing emotionally? And
it's his birthday soon.
Yes, it is.
That's a big day.
Okay, so I don't have a lot of water in my chart, but I do have Cancer. My North Node, I don't know what that means, but I'm still learning. But it's in Cancer, which is emotionally driven, but it's in the 11th house, which is in an Aquarius house.
Right.
So how I navigate emotions is okay. Mentally, why am I feeling this way? And I'm trying to discover that. That's just how I work. Why am I feeling this way?
I think that's the right way to approach things.
Well, a lot of people act on instinct, I think Kati does, Scorpio, a lot of water, which I find that fascinating because I'm like, shit, just do it. Why do I have to think about it?
I just bury everything.
Makes sense.
I just ignore and bury.
But right now, there's a lot of sexual energy with me.
You're not the only one.
I'm like, but it's I'm just attracted. People are just looking at me weird. it's different for me. Why are you? Even from a distance, I'm like, what, lady? And I feel that energy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, stop looking at me this way.
But is it a sexual attraction or is it something else? Is it just that you're radiating something completely different?
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe not so sexual because I just met somebody in a group and he said he could read faces pretty well.
Mm.
And because the picture I have in the portrait is not very. It's the one with I look like Barney, the purple one when I'm fat. He's like, "Oh, you look sad." Like, no, that's not me. I was posing for that. But here, I sent him the picture, my recent picture, and he's something about, yeah, you're kind, whatever, and you have a lot of sexual energy. I'm like, oh, maybe it was just that in that moment. So maybe that stood with me. But maybe it's just not sexual. It's just I'm just attracting people, and because I'm happier. So that helps. Not always helps.
Oh yeah, nobody wants to be with like an Eeyore.
Oh, but I've been called Eeyore so many times. Fucking snake.
Eeyore.
He's the Eeyore, isn't he?
Ah,
Scorpio, so who knows?
oh, something funny. Okay, so I do property management for the audience. I'm showing the property around where I work, showing them apartments. I'm showing this young couple. At first, I didn't like them because she's French, so she's very cold. Like that's not the price that's on the website. Like, just listen to me, lady, please. And then, eventually, as I do, I adapt, and I warm up to them, and she's just looking at me, and I noticed she has a tattoo of a musical note. I'm like, okay, and she's looking at me like reading my soul. I'm like, are you a Scorpio? She's like, yes. And then like the boyfriend, he's like, okay, guess what I am? I'm like, I don't know. Are you guys opposites? It's like, yes. Okay, you're a Taurus. Like, yes. So yeah.
Oh.
So it's I've learned that I developed that ability to recognize how people react towards me.
That's kind of a super helpful tool.
I think so. It works for me. Like I know who to stay away from. Sometimes.
It's so funny. Like the times that we went to the restaurants and the person's like, "Oh, I'm a Capricorn. Oh, get away from me." I just like never heard anybody talk like that to somebody. I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. And I'm like, "Oh man, there's like 7 billion people. You don't have to be nice to everyone."
Wait, I said that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the guy that got okay.
Yeah.
Is it when we went to the spa?
It was probably one of the first hotel or something with the first waitress, and she said that she was like Capricorn. He's like, oh no.
Oh yes. Oh, we were at the casino.
At the casino, yeah.
Or, yes.
That was here in Cochrane, yeah.
It is weird. You guys don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah, it's true. We were just like, what?
Yeah, it was too much for Canada.
We went to Dick's restaurant in Florida, and they were mean to us on purpose because that's the whole thing. And I'm like, why is everybody being so cruel to us? This is not Canadian.
No.
You were not impressed, even when you did find out.
See, that's not entertainment to me. I don't need you to treat me like an ass. Like, that's not fun.
Oh, is that their whole thing?
Yeah, it's their whole thing.
Well, I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was just a name.
Yeah, no, they're dicks to you, big time.
It's an art to that, to know how to navigate with, like, interact with people.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
They're not offended. Just enough to keep them entertained.
Yeah, see, the thing with being a dick is you're covering up something, and I don't like that. I just skip all that crap and just tell me what's going on.
I think deep down, I do enjoy it. I enjoy negging somebody.
Some people do.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me. It's fascinating the reaction that you can get just by saying certain things, just by being a little bit sarcastic. You can really see people's shit in their reaction.
You know what they're going through.
Yes.
Or how they live life. If you can't take a joke.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. If you can't take a joke.
There's people like, man, he doesn't get sarcasm. He's like, just tell me what you're. So that's what's like a little disconnect. So we have to have other people around for me to be myself because he just won't get me.
I met a woman the other day at the yoga studio and I said a joke to her and she's like, oh, that's sarcasm. I don't get that. And then we just kind of looked at each other. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize I was being a dink.
Huh. That's interesting.
I am hilarious. People should find me funny.
However, I mean, you were so good in your response to her. I feel like somebody who is very grounded can handle that. Like, you were not like, oh, well, you're the dick, and you didn't just walk away. Like, you were kind of apologetic, and you handled it really well.
Oh, thanks. I
Yeah.
was nice. I was nice. But then afterwards, I was like, I can't believe somebody didn't find me hilarious.
If you only knew.
Right.
I just want to be loved.
Oh man. Oh, back to the girl. She said, "Oh, I like you. You're funny." And then the boyfriend's like, "Oh, she never says that about anybody." I'm like, fucking Scorpios.
Scorpios love you.
Well, they just don't hate. They just hate people. But they have it right. It's, I don't know. Life. It's just you and your partner. That's it. You don't need friends, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's more my mantra than his, but he really feels that he needs people. And I'm surprised that an Aquarius does not want to have more connection, more community, right? Aren't
Oh
you
no.
more?
Oh, I do. I do. I love that. But I should handle it more as a business. Like I'm the one that brings people together, and then they all just do their own thing. No
Right.
attachments, just connections. You guys are over here. This little village, little house. Well, it comes together here and there, but that's it.
I think that's probably one of my big things that I've had to learn too is that I can't control the outcomes. Like I'm such a peacekeeper. Like I enjoy bringing people together too, but then I'm worrying and putting this emotional attachment to, I hope everyone's getting along. And then if they're not, then it's my fault. I've done something horrible.
Make it about you.
Yes.
That's how most people do. Even I was talking to Rob about human trafficking. It's not that bad
It's not that
because
bad.
we don't know if it's happening or not, right?
That's true. Yeah, we don't spend too much time looking at that, right?
Yeah, and do we play God in trying to prevent that? And who the hell are we to say it's right or wrong?
Mm.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, do we have control? Do we have free will over what's happening to us? Did we come here to have, let's say we were in that trade. Uh, are we meant to have this experience and why?
and another thing is like, why the exchange of different countries? Every country has kids. Why the immigration or the exchange?
Hmm.
Bigger than that, I think. It's more than the kids or human trafficking in general. It's more than that. Why do we want other cultures?
I don't know. Why do you think?
I checked out of this conversation when it started, so
You're,
sorry, human trafficking is not my forte.
Oh, nobody knows anything.
And I'd rather, you know what, for me, I can't give energy to that because that's energy leaking out of me and I can't, I mean, that's something I can control. I can stop that leak.
well, and you're acknowledging that you're extra sensitive lately, and that kind of
Oh,
stuff really, that stuff really bothers you,
I
right?
have been so insanely over emotional, overly sensitive, and I mean, it's making sense with Cancer full moon, fine, super emotional. I have Cancer in my chart too, but for me, it's a rising sign. You know what? Funny because you said North Node. I think that has to do with your life lesson, like what you're meant to learn in this lifetime. I believe that's what the North Node is for. So if it's like emotional,
Yes.
like that I think that makes sense for you because even you saying, you connect all these people, you're bringing people together, but then you want to withdraw the emotion from it. But I don't think that's it. I think maybe you're just meant to fine tune the emotional engagement that you have when you do bring people together.
Yes. Still learning from them, from all those emotions. And I think I'm doing very good. But how are you more sensitive?
I was very like the last 2 weeks of December were more about my childhood trauma being triggered. And we had family in the house, which obviously that does that for me, but I handled it really badly this time. And what I did was just fully retreat just to protect my peace, and I wasn't very helpful to anybody. And I feel like, and then we had this crazy sound bath, and I just really wanted to blast the trauma out or just integrate it, because I was at that point where it was so bad that I just didn't even care anymore. One way or another, either integrate it and I learned to live with it or blast it out of me so I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite figured out what's happened.
So, why do you think the trauma happened to you?
What do you mean? Like when I was a child? Well, I mean, it's more than just environmental trauma for my family. It's ancestral. Like my parents both carried such a hefty dose of trauma into their relationship that it spilled out onto me and Carrie and Ginny. Like I have two siblings, and the three of us are so dysfunctional in a room. That's the word dysfunction was like created for the three of us. There is no function. And so we're limping along. One of us don't talk at all, and the other one, yeah, we're just kind of limping along.
Yeah, that happens with siblings. I'm the same with my brothers. We talk here and there, but trauma.
Do you think that you can conquer your traumas, Milton? Or do you think it's just something that you have to accept and just recognize?
Acceptance and recognize.
Okay.
Even not too long ago, something stronger than love is acceptance. You have to accept people, things that happen to you. And I think accepting it, eventually there will be love. Like accepting your trauma. Like someone's saying, why it happened to me. But there's a bigger purpose than my pain. Maybe it's a whole family thing. Maybe you're the glue. Even I said this when I was starting to meet you guys with Alora. She's like the heart of your family. She's a fire sign. She's a Leo. That's what Leos are. You guys are all earth and water signs. She's the only outcast. You guys probably don't maybe understand her at points.
Oh, for sure, yeah. There's lots of times where I don't get it.
But I mean, you have Leo as your moon sign, like, so you have like that kind of same me thing that she has.
Yeah, I was saying this to somebody the other day that there's so many things that I find fascinating about Alora, and it's like I recognize the pieces of her that I wish that I had, which is very interesting to me. It's like she doesn't mind being the star of the show, and it's like,
But you don't either.
what's that?
You don't either.
Yeah,
You're like the center of attention. You just don't recognize what you are.
it's true. It's true. I'm still trying to
You're not
figure
as
it out.
aware as she is.
But she doesn't talk to us that much about those things. It'll be interesting when she opens up more and talks to us about those things.
I mean, no, she's done that with you, but you shut her down pretty quick.
Oh, so I am. It's all my fault. I'm sorry.
You know this. See, there you go. You're aware.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
It worked.
No, brother.
Man, what else are we gonna ask about the moon stuff?
I don't know.
I'm just here for color commentary.
I feel like like the extra sensitive stuff, that's pulling from my inner child. So there's been a lot of inner child stuff going on. What is your relationship with your inner child?
Honestly, I don't know what that means. I don't think I have that inner child. I just want to be happy. And similar to what Alex, people just love me. But they do. I already have that. So what else do I want? That's why, to me, inner child doesn't. It's a part of me. But am I still an inner child? Am I a child still?
Mm.
I think I have a lot of childlike qualities. Especially my sun sign being in the house of Leo, the fun house.
And for me, it's like I feel like my inner child got like locked away so long ago. Even when I was a child, I was already like just putting him away and just like trying to get to a man as quickly as humanly possible, just so that I could
Yeah,
go and live on my own.
but you're doing that. You're locking that child.
Right. Yeah.
So why?
I don't know. It's funny because we were talking about this, and um Kati was asking me to like acknowledge my inner child and try and look at myself from when I was younger, and I was having a really difficult time. It's like that buried.
It's because you're embarrassed. You just have
I
to accept it.
Yeah.
Accept the child. Nothing wrong with him.
I think that so I will pull it back a little bit into Cancer Moon here because it's the archetype of the mother. And when, you know, the purpose, the role of your mother is to offer safety, right? First and foremost, you want to make sure that you're safe. So if that's an issue, that trauma is born through that.
Okay.
You know, so at some point you didn't feel safe, and so now we're building out trauma from there.
Sure, yeah.
Nurturing. Your mother is supposed to nurture you, right? Like you're supposed to be able to feel taken care of and nurtured and loved.
Hmm.
Right? And as an adult, now you have to do that for yourself. Like you take these attributes of the great mother, and you're supposed to be able to apply them to your life later on. So, what are your self-care rituals? Like, are you able to nurture yourself?
Oh man, I don't know. The first thing I thought of right away was like one of my biggest fears when I was a child was somebody breaking into the house, like a home invasion, and my parents not being there. And like, what would I do? I don't know. I was constantly worried about those things, and it was odd. And I was telling Michaela, when I was 13, my parents went to Mexico, and I was just like, they left me home alone. And then I was supposed to like look after the cat and do all these things, and yeah, it was like Home Alone. I was kind of terrified, and
That's crazy. That was one of your biggest fears, and then it actually came to be because they left you.
yeah, well, they did that more than once. It was more than once where I was kind of like the man of the house, but I was still a child. It was totally bizarre.
Yeah, to what Kati's saying, you were not protected.
Yeah.
And then the very last thing is to a sense of belonging. You're brought into this family, and if there is not this sense of you belong here, you know, like we are taking you in, you are accepted and you belong here, that creates another, and that's my point of trauma, is that they made me feel like I was some kind of crazy oddball. Like I was seeing like Mother Mary as a ghost when I was little, and they told me I was demon possessed. You know, like it was like I totally did not belong, and I still don't belong. So
They didn't accept your talent, your abilities.
right, because for Catholics, that's a no-no.
Yeah, I did a recording, my most recent recording with Jesse. It's sad because he was very psychic. You could tell right away.
Oh wow.
Like a Pisces, like totally. I knew it. I'm like, oh wow, this guy's really Eric. He connected us, and he just kept talking. He's a talker. I'm like, good. I'm a listener. Perfect. And I asked him, how was your childhood? And he's like, well, there was a moment I remember that my dad, he was, you know, they're religious, but he was getting high, but because he oppressed his abilities, so him smoking opened up his abilities, and he could see things.
Oh wow.
So he didn't want to do that anymore because, again, being religious is a big no-no. But then Jesse's like, that was the opportunity for him to understand me because he's very psychic and emotional. He's Pisces, and that is it's a Cancer. So it's a family thing where they have all these abilities, but because that chose maybe how people will see him, he wanted to be normal. But he lost the connection with his son. And that changed his whole life, you could tell.
Oh,
If he
wow.
would have connected with him in that moment, his life would have been much better. And it was sad. And I was, of course, crying. He was just telling me as it was building up, I was like, fuck, poor guy. That moment in his life that changed everything for him. We all have those moments, right? Your abandonment, Alex, they left you at the house. And Katsi, like they weren't your abilities. You're so powerful. Imagine.
Oh, if she smoked weed, she'd be super powerful.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, well, I don't know anything about your childhood. Did you have a good childhood? Like, how would you summarize your childhood?
Let's see. I was a very sexual kid. And I was the one that provoked the whole sexual harassment. What is that called? When they take advantage of you. What is it called?
Abuse?
Abuse. Well,
When the babysitter
wanted it, right?
Yeah, I'm the one that kind of like, hey, come on. And I was like 3, 4. And like people know things, like kids know. Other than that, it was, abandonment. My father, no kid. I was just abandoned, and actually, I don't even think I hung out with my brothers. I was just always free, which is not a bad thing.
Free to be you, or just free to roam around? Or...
Yeah, physically to just walk anywhere I wanted. And did I tell you the story where I got a taxi parked on top of me?
A what?
A taxi, a cab.
A taxi on top of you?
Yeah, I fell, and then I just stood there, and then the cab parked on top of me.
Oh my God, no, that's insane.
Yeah, I was like 3, 4. Yeah, and it's not me. Everybody, my whole family could tell you.
So that was in Mexico, though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Oh, of course. Only in Mexico.
Only in Mexico. And yeah, my childhood was fun. I was just because of my sexuality, I wasn't being able to be free in that way, which I'm thankful now. I would have been this like very prancing. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm thankful that happened to me. Bullying in a way by family. Like,
Okay.
Don't be this, don't do that.
They're trying to suppress it a bit.
Yeah. Because, especially back over there, they don't talk about this.
Well, that's interesting.
But that led me to astrology, because that's when, it was me and my mom, and then some lady asked my mom, what does your kid have? What does he have jazz hands? What does he talk like that? And I was like, oh, because he's an Aquarius. So it's just, because of that, I was like, oh, what is that? So since then, I loved astrology because of the trauma.
Okay, well, so, I mean, the first thing you said when I asked you, how have you been feeling emotionally lately, was sexual. And then when I asked you about your childhood, the first thing you said was sexual.
Yeah.
So I'm now wondering, because cancer is deeply rooted, right? Cancer is deeply rooted in the past. Are you meant to focus a little bit of light on the fact that at 3 or 4, you were, and had you not been suppressed, you think, oh, that's for the good, but what if it would have been really good? What if right now you're just able to let it completely go and live this beautiful sexual life however you want?
Yeah. But then there's conflict with me thinking that sex is not that important.
Okay, so me thinking. So let's get out of the thinking brain.
That's all I do.
Right.
It's the conflict. I don't just act on emotion like water signs do.
I have a confession.
Oh, a confession.
I remember, like, you sparked my memory. Like, I remember being like 3 or 4 and seeing Dolly Parton, and instantly, like, this is the most beautiful woman ever. Like, Dolly Parton was
Or
like,
boners, yeah.
Yeah, she's totally boner worthy. And I was like, that is, if I could have married Dolly Parton when I was 3, I would have. She was that amazing.
Yeah.
So I knew at like 3 or 4, I was just like, holy smokes.
But this is a very inner world for you. Like, it's not like you were going around talking to this with other people. Like,
Well, my mom did tell me this story of how when I was like 3 or 4, I showed the taxi cab driver my special ability of getting boners. And then she was like, put that away. We don't do that. But it was my superpower. You know that I was the only one able to do that. That was my superpower.
Discovered it.
I discovered it.
lucky me.
The only one. But I was like in grade 6 and still thinking that I was the only person. That's how sheltered of a existence I had. Is
Yeah,
that
that's
crazy?
what I thought with masturbation. I thought I discovered it. Like, how does and how do not people know about this?
This is crazy. It's a superpower.
But that's how life works. It doesn't matter. Oh, Alex, your quote. The more I know, the more I realize I don't know. You know, Einstein said that.
Oh, did he?
You're a fraud.
No, I know. I know that I didn't make it up. I just said it. I kind of said it in my own words. But I think, isn't it like Aristotle or somebody said that as well?
Somebody sent a whole bunch of quotes from, and I read it. I'm like, wait, I thought Alex came up with this.
I came up with my own version. It's probably said more eloquently than that.
But yeah, that's what it means. It's like it's been happening forever. Like,
Right.
owners in my masturbation.
Right. I think that our generation, like all of us, I think we were too embarrassed to talk to even our friends about a lot of these things. I don't remember talking to my friends about this stuff.
You don't know what the previous generation went through. They were probably the same.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah. But we didn't have like Google or, like we had all these things, but we never, I don't know. Did you talk to your friends about like intimate things?
Well, yes, but not masturbation. Everything else but.
Oh, okay.
There. As a kid.
Yeah. I mean, I never talked to anybody about my like alcoholic dad, or I was just trying to like keep our family looking somewhat normal-ish.
I mean, I talked to my siblings about it, oddly enough, and that's where it backfired on me, because then Ginny came back to me all these years later and accused me of sexual harassment out to the entire family. So there's a reason that, like we just don't function.
But that keeps going on. Actually, I was just accused of sexually harassing someone at work.
Oh no.
No, it's not bad. It's so stupid. This guy applied. He's an older guy. He's talking to his mom on FaceTime. He's like probably like almost 60. I don't know. And he's a
Sexually
designer.
harassing him?
Wait.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm showing him the apartment, and then he's talking to his mom. I'm like, oh, poor guy. And he's telling me, oh, I have a beautiful dog. And oh yeah, the dogs look like the owners or something. And he made him feel good. I was like, okay, good. So that was it. And he applied, and of course got declined. And now he's like, oh, do you always sexually harass your clients? I'm like, what?
Oh no.
So it was harassment now that I declined you, not before. Like,
Right.
but it depends on the other person's perspective. It doesn't matter.
That's crazy.
It does. And you're so complimentary. Like you are really like, I mean, that's just, it comes out of you, and it's from a place of love. And if somebody else can't see that, then.
Right. That's what I would say. It's your problem, not mine.
Right.
Right. But at what point do you start like holding back and having to be like extra cautious?
No, because I know how to talk to people. And like, he could track everything. I didn't say anything inappropriate. He's the one that said, hey, handsome, how's it going? I'm going to apply. Like, okay, go ahead. I don't care. I'm doing nothing wrong.
So he sexually harassed you.
I didn't even, sure. Yeah, I will win if we were to go to court.
I mean, you're in this, was this like recently?
Yeah, like last week.
Okay, well, you're in this age of sexuality right now, so.
Sexual era.
I'd rather be there. I mean, so many of us didn't start off 2025 in this glorious age of sexuality,
Awkward.
You were just trying to like release all the trauma from Christmas.
Yeah, I'm going through these horrible childhood trauma things, and Milton's just like, yay.
No, so far so good. Even the whole tax crap, I'm like, fuck it. It's going to be paid off somehow. It's just like, I learned from Makati. It's just energy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to work out. Like, and Manny's 50th birthday is this year.
Whoa. I thought, yeah, no, it was. So is this going to be the tattoo year? Is this the year?
No tattoos.
No? I'll send you that picture again with a big cross on the back that goes up on the head. I think that's going to be a winner.
No, bridesmaid. When the girl gets that tattoo, a free tattoo,
Right.
she's exposing her back, and it's a whole worm infected.
Oh no. Laura was just talking about becoming a tattoo artist this morning.
But my tenant, she's a Canadian tattoo artist.
Oh, that's yeah, you were mentioning that before. That's cool. Did she get accepted? Yeah. Or she's at your place right now.
And yeah,
Right, right. We talked about that. So Manny should just get the tattoo from her.
say that because it's not the style.
No, not the right style. So what's going on in LA? What is the real energy? All the news is I don't believe any of it, so I trust you.
Oh, because okay, I do see the fires. They're happening. There's smoke. There's ash. But people fall for the Amber Alerts. Evacuate. There's nothing going on. At least not in our area.
Okay.
It's not COVID, right?
Right.
1% dies. Sure, sorry. But somebody has to.
Hmm.
Good for the team, good. But to me, it's just the whole insurance scam, you know?
Right. So where are the fires? Are they like in the rich area?
Yeah, Pacific Palisades.
Okay.
Kind of like what happened with Malibu a few years ago.
Isn't this odd though that there's fires in the middle of winter?
Yes, that's why I tell people it's chilly. It's cold. There shouldn't be any fires.
Yeah, it's weird. But the winds are very strong too?
Yeah, the winds are strong. I'll send you the video I took from the rooftop. See the fires, but it's like by the mountains.
Right.
And there are some houses. I do see videos, but it's not like maybe 10 houses. Maybe I don't know. It's not that many people.
Hmm. Well, it's like when we had forest fires here, there was a bunch of people messaging me like, "Are you guys okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is like happening like 1,000 miles away from us."
Right, but it's people that create chaos.
Right,
I
exactly.
didn't even know that LA was on fire. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how it came across my feed because I'm never on social media and the news and stuff. I saw, I'm like, what is happening? What is this? And because I don't give energy to that crap, I would like to know how it feels for myself. And for me, it was just a feeling of, you know what? Hollywood needs to burn. LA probably needs to burn. There needs to be like this
A reset.
seriously, like this total reset. And the people who are meant to rebuild in this new age of human that's coming, like for the age of ascension, right? They will. That's Phoenix energy for them. And the rest will just burn off.
Yeah, they need more sexual energy.
I think honestly that you're just meant to attract more like-minded people with that energy. I'm sure that's all it is that you're incredibly magnetic right now and you're going to bring in exactly what you need to have the exact life you need to have in service of other people.
Yes. Thank you, Scorpio.
So it's safe to say then that it's ridiculous that they canceled the basketball games and try and like they're making it sound like LA is just like
Yeah,
a complete wreck.
but it's always worked. LA riots,
Yeah.
they happen in this section, not where I was. And I tell people this, and by the people that I know, most of the people that were in the area where it happened. So yeah, of course it happened all over LA. Like, no, where you were, yes.
Hmm.
And there's whole other area that didn't. Again, we always focus on the 1%.
For sure, yeah. Because LA is huge. Like if it's probably one of the biggest sprawling cities. So for it all to be destroyed, that seems pretty unrealistic.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think my area is next because of the wiring. You know how you guys are all like the cables are
Yeah,
underneath.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Eventually, like I'm ready for that. Like, okay, and now I'm learning about insurance. Getting licensed to have an insurance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was one of my things. I'm like, I need to do more. I'm not doing enough. So this year just clicked to me. I'm not doing enough.
Hmm. Yeah, we can always do more. More podcasts.
Uh, with that, this is good because we talk about real, like regular stuff. But like the whole conspiracy crap is like nobody knows anything.
Right.
Like people are just about, oh, the chemtrails are happening. Like, fuck. Okay, so when it's a beautiful day, who do we thank for that? Is it just God? Maybe the government's doing this.
Right.
It's always like the bad stuff.
Right.
People get over it.
I will say though that if chemtrails were fake, then there would be just chemtrails every day because there's planes every day, right? So whatever the flight paths are, those are the flight paths, and we would always see this crap in the sky, but it's not like that. So like on the days where it's clear, are there no planes, or like are they just not doing anything?
This is the thing I've been thinking about, how men are stupid, right, Kati?
Nope.
So, like, no, because no, our partners, because even someone like Manny's like, who gives a shit? Who cares? But men, we have to go through this whole process to
Right.
mention, oh yeah, you're right. But what is that? It's why do we have to take these long steps to get to a realization of?
I don't know if that's a man thing or if that's just a certain person type thing. I know you do that.
But I do that too. And I don't. Huh.
I can hear the same thing 1,000 times, but until I'm ready to hear it and it clicks, it's like, oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so here's my reasoning for it is that you don't listen to your intuition almost ever, right? And I'm constantly listening to it, so I'll tell you something based on energy, and you'll be like, yeah, okay, but then somebody else says the same thing to you, and you're like, oh, okay, so maybe she was right about it. Like, you just need all these different versions of proof.
That would drive me crazy if it was reversed. If it was reversed, it'd drive me crazy. Like, I remember if I would say something and she wouldn't listen to me, but her dad would say the same thing and she'd be like, oh, okay. My dad, that used to just drive me ape shit.
Well, same with me. I'm like, this looks better than over here, Manny. No. But then someone will say, oh, this looks great. And, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good job. It's this other person, not Milton.
Right. It's got to be a normal thing.
But you don't listen to your instinct because why, Alex? Because you're not good enough. That's why your family left you, abandoned you.
It's because I distract myself with stupid things constantly. I am a sucker for distractions.
It's okay to like topics, different things, but you lose focus.
Yes.
You don't accept yourself.
I do enjoy focusing on things and putting a lot of effort into them, but it doesn't happen enough. Doesn't happen often enough. Right?
It's weird because we were sitting in the car wash the other day and I'm looking at him, I'm like, you know what? We can't fly this year. There is something going on with aviation that I have this in like unrealistic fear, or like something is wrong. And he's like, somebody else said that on a podcast the other day. And I'm like, huh, go figure.
If we get on a plane, we're crashing.
No, okay, that was my thing this year. Like, we're not gonna travel, Manny. We have to cut back on. Yeah, I'm spending so much on stupid crap like Starbucks or like Uber rides. Like, I don't need that shit. So I'm like, we're not flying anywhere. Oh, we're going to Oregon. We're going this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Oh, fun.
Just getting married. Like, fuck.
Well, hopefully it's not too hot there.
Oh, it might snow.
It was hot in the summer.
Oh. So it must be like that all year round.
It was crazy.
It might snow, so I might see snow for the first time.
You guys should drive. Forget the plane.
You can do it.
No.
Once you get out of LA, it's easy.
The way Manny drives,
You'll be out of LA in 10 minutes.
we're off a cliff.
Jeez. Okay, so we're not flying this year, but I'm still open to traveling by car. Like for us, as you know, we travel mostly by car anyway. So I was like looking at the bank account yesterday. I'm like, oh shit, we're not going anywhere. I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's not how I want to think. And thank goodness we did the podcast with Rob, because then I was just like, you know what? He's right. You put it out there. You want to manifest, the plane ticket will appear, or the gas for the car, right? Like accommodation will appear. Like you just have to actually hold on to the dream and let it out.
Yeah. Just do it. It's going to work out.
We don't need to know how.
The desert is calling me, and I am not ignoring that call. When the desert calls, you answer.
Arizona?
Yeah, for sure. Like I can smell Arizona. That's how strong it is. Like the desert's calling me.
Alex, make it happen.
I'll do what I can.
Oh, that's what I've learned, even with Manny. Like, okay, we're going to Oregon. Okay, we're gonna stay at somebody's home because I don't want to spend money. It's like, yeah, but I don't like staying at people's homes. I have to find a way to work in there. I booked the hotel. It's gonna be fine.
You know what I learned this week or last week? Sometimes I need my wife to have a meltdown or to kick me in the ass really, really hard for me to do something. So when I sent you the message, finally, here's the link for the podcast. It was because of a huge meltdown that the podcast is blah, blah, blah. We don't have any guests. This is like, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just going to go and I'm going to do it. I'm going to set all this up and we're going to get people and done. We don't have to kill the podcast.
You know what? Here's my thing. If I'm not in a position of growing, I'm not doing it anymore. You know, if this is not making me feel good, if we're not reaching people, if we're not doing what makes us happy, I'm out.
Well, about growing in which way? Like popularity wise?
No.
I think conversation wise.
I just like when it's just the two of us. I love having it just the two of us, but at the same time, I'm not hearing things that are different from what I'm always hearing anyway.
It gets stagnant, right?
Oh, I get it. Even with my podcast, it's like, fuck, we were going to talk about conspiracies. Now what?
I loved, and you didn't listen. Did you listen to the one with the vampire guy?
Is that a firmamental thing?
No, it was on Milton's podcast.
I don't listen to podcasts.
That was fascinating. It was like, that's exactly what I need to hear that day was the vampire episode.
Oh,
like
Joe's.
Yeah, the energetic vampire. It was wild. I was like, and that's it. That's probably most people are energetic vampires.
Yeah, but we're all vampires.
I'm scared of vampires.
Really? I'm Hungarian. I'm sure I'm a vampire.
It's the perfect example of a vampire.
Right.
I'm not allowed to like get my mouth close to his neck at all. He hates it.
Don't. You freak.
Maybe I should. Maybe there's power there.
No, I don't like it. I don't like vampires. When I was a kid, I even used to like sleep like this.
There it is. Because you're losing control.
I don't like it.
I think you will like it. Trust me.
Yeah, you'll come right away.
I'll crap my pants right away. That's a lot.
Well, that's attractive.
So I know where you were going though with the growing aspect of when you're asking Milton with the growing.
Yeah, because of Helen's question, yeah?
Right, yeah.
So we ask each of our guests to leave a question for the upcoming guest. So we had Helen Rose on Friday evening. I said, what would your question be for the next guest?
For Milton.
She doesn't know Milton. I just said for the next guest. So,
but it was a perfect question.
You know what? It's been very intuitive, right? Like there's been like this weird intuitive eeriness around the questions that have been left. So her question for you was, at what point in your life did you stop growing? Now, this was related to us talking about the inner child and trauma. And when does trauma get in the way of you being able to continue your spiritual growth or human growth? And that's not an easy question.
Oh. It does take me back to my childhood. When did I lose being in nature? I think it was when they brought me to the US, because I was more in tune with nature, with myself. Mm-hmm. And I think once, planes got involved in transportation, I lost the native intuition. So it took a pause, my spiritual growth. And then actually a year ago, probably, that's when it emerged. And that's when I, like this new person, I discovered this new person.
I like that it took a pause, that you didn't stop.
No, it was a big pause. I was in school. Like I don't belong here. Like why I like people, but what am I reading? Where's there a schedule? You have to wake up this time and then go to bed and do it all over again. The routine, it's like, to me, was so foreign. It's like, that's not, and I've said this in many podcasts. I was the happiest when I was in Mexico in nature. I used to take a dump in the forest. I used to eat bricks. Fucking brick story. It was just I was very in tune with nature before. But yeah,
So
it was a big boss.
now you live in a place where, I mean, you live in such a gigantic city, and it's very urban. How can you get back into nature in 2025? Do you have any plan at all for this year to submerge yourself more in nature?
Funny, this morning I took out the dry cleaners. It's such a beautiful day, and it felt so good. I was so happy. I even texted Manny. I wish it's such a beautiful day, and I wish you were here with me so we could do more walks in nature. It happened like 2 hours ago that I said this to myself.
Hmm.
And then I went back to Canada when you guys do with Walk Bear. We were just walking. But yes, that's what we need to do more, enjoy more. So I think it's little things that are within the reach of our hand.
Right?
Yeah, because you have that park that's right by your place, which is really nice.
Yeah, but even the neighborhood, it's just friendly people, and it's just such a beautiful day, and the birds are chirping, babies snoring.
Oh, that's what that is.
So yeah, I think that's what, like, do less, the simplicities of life.
I agree. I think that's kind of what was our message today, was to do less distractions,
Slow down. Yeah.
and be more intuitive, listen more to yourself. I needed that. I'm always distracting myself with nonsense. And I'm the one that wrote the damn article, Devils and the Distractions.
I still can't figure it out. It's like I told you this, you reset all the time. You start over. You don't create checkpoints for yourself. Okay, I already did this. I'm not going to do this again. I'll keep going.
Right.
Maybe you have to put a different skin in the same thing. But it's still the same thing. You guys say stop. I'm just going to keep thinking.
No, it's nice to have the dead air, just to have that moment to pause and think.
Yeah.
No, because a lot of people they fall for the same distraction.
Hmm.
But it's the same. They just put a different skin. Like before AI, stupid AI. There were filters before.
Right.
And before AI, people think it's like a self-generating machine. I know people are programming this. It's humans, right?
Yeah.
But before that was Wikipedia. Oh, Wikipedia knows everything.
Right.
But it's actually a person that did this article.
Right.
So they just call it different things, but it's the same. AI, and that's even went to like I said this with on Firmamental, on the Rumble. The Bible is that. They told you what to think.
Hmm. And then we just repeat the same thing over and over.
Well, and then you have people like me who give the only wisdom that I can ever find is coming from me. Like the Bible holds no power for me because somebody else wrote it. Those are somebody else's thoughts. When Carrie was here over Christmas, she's listening to, do you remember who she's listening to?
No.
Anyways, it was a Stoic, some Stoic, I don't know. And she's going on and on. I'm like, dude, what do you feel? What are your thoughts? Like, you are constantly giving that power away to other people. Like,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I think that you're distracted by that.
Sure.
Like you went through your big Bible phase where everything the Bible said was definitely truth and blah, blah, blah. And
But I was telling you that I think most people use exterior things to inspire themselves until hopefully one day their intuition kicks in to the point where they recognize that they don't need that anymore.
So-
It's like training wheels for intuition.
But at what point does that intuition kick in? Does it ever kick in? And would they notice it if it did?
Maybe it's like drugs. Maybe people use it as a crutch, like probably me. I'm starting to try and stop and listen to myself more instead of get confirmation from exterior sources.
But you're doing that even with me. You're like, so what do you think about this? What are your
because
thoughts on it?
because you're intuitive, right? You're way more intuitive.
Yeah, for me, for this being, for this existence.
I'm trying to catch up still, just like most people are just trying to catch up, like your sister's trying to catch up. And it's not that it's bad, it's just that you're using different mediums.
I never said it was bad.
No, I know.
So, Alex, when have you learned something from something? Is it a person or a book?
I usually will get something from somebody I run into, or I'll notice, like, as soon as I hear this thing, it's like, oh, okay, that's meant for me.
Right, but you learn from that.
Yeah, I would say I learned from that.
It's growth.
Right.
So that's your medium. That's why you should maybe don't read.
I definitely need to be out in the world more and be less hermity, so that I can kind of pick up the little bread, the breadcrumbs or the cookie trail of wisdom. I think there's always, and for me to share my stuff with the world too. I do the world no service by hiding in my house.
But maybe you do, and maybe you're not meant to. It's for Kati. You're there for Kati. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that. Why do you have to go and explore it?
I don't know. I don't know.
What more wisdom is there? Like, you are providing everything for your family, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I could be just greedy. I could have all the answers right here, and yet I'm still going around. Oh, I never thought about it like that. Maybe I'm greedy.
You're not greedy. That's not what he's saying. Good Lord.
I'm an imbecile. What were you gonna ask, or what do we ask Milton at the end? Because we're wrapping it up. What is the question that you would like to ask the next person?
Man, that's such a hard thing to do.
It is a hard thing to
Not
do.
for a professional podcaster.
And a professional thinker.
Right. Somebody who already asks way better questions than I ever will, that's for sure. It's like, oh,
I have to know the person.
no, you don't. If you
know what? Today is the full moon in Cancer. You just do your intuitive watery thing right now.
Kathy's got her glasses on and she's writing.
I know, I'm jerking off right now.
Holy shit.
He's letting Biggie out.
That's a first. That's a first.
Answer.
Yeah. This is not going to be on YouTube. Biggie looks so funny behind you.
Stop distracting him.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. The pause. Have you ever taken a spiritual pause ever in your life? Because you mentioned you like the pausing thing because it's always within, right? It's still within.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just kind of like forget about it or distract yourself in life. And even me, I learned the whole coming to a different country and the whole technology thing, transportation. Like if I would have stayed over there, like what would have, I would have been a shaman or something. I don't know. So yeah, something with you probably formulate the question better. Something with a pause.
I wrote it down. Yep, I understand. I understand what you're trying to say with that.
And you know why that's such a perfect question is because Mike Spice is on deck.
Oh.
So
he'll appreciate that because he's had a hell of a spiritual journey.
I think you should have Mike Spice on your podcast if you haven't already.
Oh, I reached out to him. We talked before I did a podcast. He's also a Scorpio, I think.
Yeah, he's like November First or
He's in
second?
November Scorpio.
Yeah. Well, most Scorpios are.
Not this one.
No, not this one. The good Scorpios are in November. The bad ones are in October.
Is there a question that you wanted us to ask you that we didn't?
What?
I don't know. Like sometimes you pre-think. I know that you must have had some thoughts about this podcast before we came on.
No, well, Corinne's. Am I saying it right? Corinne? Yeah.
Bryn.
Right. That there was I noticed towards the end, it was when Alex said, well, that's what Milton does. He just asks people's birthdays and he just knows who to talk to and who to keep or who not to. There was just an energy shift when that was asked.
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
Like a bad one or a good one?
Oh, maybe it's just me because I didn't expect my name to be.
Your name comes up all the time.
Wait, Corinne's birthday, right? When is?
It was January 9th.
It was on Thursday, yeah.
She was a Capricorn. And she's going to Coachella.
Yeah, right? Crazy.
I have to do the pitch on Wednesday. I have to go to the dating thing with her on Wednesday. And pitch her to a group of eligible bachelors.
Her out.
Good luck to me. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully I don't say something retarded.
Well, you're doing something like what Indian people do. It's like you should do based on charts.
Okay, that's what I'll do then.
She needs earth and water for sure. Because she's earth, so.
This is who she wants to meet these months only. If you're not these months, get lost. It'll be totally, it's going to be totally horoscope based.
No, but then months. Because we change all the time. The moon, the months.
Yeah.
You have to adapt to it. You have to recognize those things and adapt. So she probably needs she's the earth, so she probably needs the water. Pisces. Oh, Pisces, yes. She could control a Pisces.
There you go. That's what we needed to know.
Pisces?
Pisces. Anybody that's a Pisces, step it up. It doesn't matter if you're a hunchback or if you have a super high voice. Pisces all the way.
Yeah, Pisces. They're very controlling.
Or aren't they?
Wait, no. They like to be controlled.
There you go.
Capricorns like to control people.
Submissive.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Everybody deserves a Scorpio, I think.
I agree. I love Scorpios.
I have to. I'm married to one.
I have to.
I had no idea what I was getting into when I was just a young man, but
Still don't.
it's been an adventure.
You learn.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm pretty sure the universe was like, oh, okay, she needs you more than you need me, so.
Yes.
The acceptance.
Exactly. See, acceptance.
You let me be exactly who I am, so.
Perfect. That's a perfect way to end it today. Thank you,
Yeah.
Milton.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was fun.
You're the best.
Is that how you're ending it?
We'll see you next time, geniuses. Like, subscribe, share, rate it. We'll see you next time.